Hey babe, it's Leah here with Nacho Mama's MLM. It has been a little bit of a minute since I've been on here, and I apologize. I was just talking about consistency without systems and how much that sucks, and as you can see, I am sucking at it, but I am being truthful and I am being honest and raw and real with what's going on. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the business as well as personal consulting work that I also do. And actually, I just got back from Chicago this last week, and I was actually doing a consulting job out there. And the funny thing is I was talking about organization and consistency while I was out there the entire time. So just to give you a little insight, I actually was out there to do a rollout, so a deployment project, which requires organization, because the more organized you are, the easier a rollout's going to go in terms of actually upgrading systems. So we had about 289 PCs that we had to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So for those of you who don't know, I do have a techie background, and sometimes I get a little technical when I talk about things, and not that it's that interesting, but it is what it is. So we were doing this upgrade, and 289 systems on 3 floors is a lot of systems to work with. And we get all of this information about the users and which devices have to go to which user. I mean, it's nailed down to the address that's listed on the computer as to who gets which computer from the actual corporate side. But they send us these, what we call a BIP. They call us, it's basically a work order. It's a spreadsheet that has a bunch of information on it. It has the user's name. It usually has where they're located in terms of on a map. If you actually had a map, which 90% of the time we don't have a map. And if we do, we don't have it until the day of the project, which we did in this case as well. And sometimes you'll have, the name of their old machine and then the name of their new machine. And you have to match all of these things up in order to get everything rolled out properly. So you get there and you look at this, but there is no rhyme or reason to their layout, their spreadsheet. If you look at the spreadsheet, number 1 could be right next to number 12 physically when they're sitting in the branch, because sometimes inside the location they'll move around. So there's no rhyme or reason as to how they've organized it. So one of the very first things I've done, and I've been doing these for quite some time now, one of the first things that we do is I take the cut sheets. We have these sheets that actually we have to label each and every single individual user in the branch so that we can find them later on by their what we call reference number. But I take and I organize all of those alphabetically, either by their first name or their last name, because as I'm walking around trying to find these people, I don't know their reference number off the top of my head. I don't know their location, if they have like an actual location for their cubicle or their office. I don't have a map that shows any of those things to me. So I have to make order out of disorder or order out of chaos all the time. So first thing I will do is I will reorganize how they're sent to me. And then after that, I'll go through and renumber, create my own numbering system so that I have an idea of how the floor is laid out, how the entire, floor plan for 3 floors is played out. Because I will tell you, we had some that were like 200 and they were on one floor, and then on that same floor, we'd also have 90 as a reference number. So finding things was definitely a challenge if we just went through that. But the funny thing is I'm looking at how organized I am when it comes to projects like this. Same thing is true when I actually ran my wedding business. When it came to the day of the event, I was extremely organized, down to the minute. Between this minute and this minute, we would be doing this, and you have a 5-minute window to make sure we get everything organized and everybody's in, and this is the amount of time that we have for the ceremony, and this is the amount of time we have for photos. All of those things were super organized. And I realized as I was talking to the guys this weekend on the project, I said, you know what? The truth of the matter is I'm an extremely disorganized person. And if you look at my household, and I don't let a lot of people into it, it's because I am a very disorganized person. I have a controlled chaos situation in my office. I have a controlled chaos in my storage unit. I have a controlled chaos in most of my household. And unfortunately, my son has picked up on my controlled chaos, and his is just pure chaos in his bedroom right now. But the point of the matter is I understand this about myself. I am a controlled chaos kind of individual. And so in order to be organized, I actually go to an extreme. So from the extreme of being a slob, which I would never call myself a slob, but again, controlled chaos works for me. From the extreme of being a slob to the extreme of being OCD about how things are organized. So for instance, with this project that I was rolling out this weekend, we had these giant boxes so that we could reel them out onto the floor. Well, we had organized them into number order. In other words, so all the boxes had the reference numbers on them, and they were, 1 through 289. And then in addition to that, we had the location numbers, what we called it, basically 1 through 289, so that we could find them. But it was usually about 1 through 100 and something per floor. So I actually had each box labeled, and each box had 12 boxes in it, and 1 through 12, so locations 1 through 12, all of the boxes that came from that area went back into this box, so that when we did, or if we did, need to re-find a number for a user, maybe there's something that we had to find their old machine on Monday, we would be able to go to, say they were in reference number 27. We would be able to go to the box that said 25 through, if it's 12, we're counting by 12, 24, 36. So it would be 25 through 36. And in that box is where we would find number 27 and then be able to pull that out. So overly organizing to kind of an anal retentive level. And then on top of that, we actually put the number of every single box on the piece of paper that was actually on the outside of those boxes. So I know you guys are all trying to figure out, how does this relate to MLM, and where are you going with this? So really, it's more about just kind of sharing and documenting the processes that I'm noticing in my life, and noticing where I need to take some more ownership of what is being done and what's not being done. One of those things, obviously, is this podcast. The podcast has been slacking because I was busy last week and I didn't make it a priority because I didn't organize it. I didn't schedule it into my life. So I was just recently listening to another podcast, MLM Misfits. If you guys haven't heard it, it's a fantastic podcast. Go listen to him. Leave him a review. He's awesome. Trey Bear is who that is. And I was listening to him talking about how he structures his week, and I loved it. So it's one of those things I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys want to listen to the original content that he has on that, you can too, or you can just go ahead and listen to what I'm going to share with you, because basically I'm going to share the same kind of concept with you guys that he shared with me. So I was listening to his podcast, and it's something that I'm going to start implementing. And actually, with this month coming up, there is a stories of Instagram and Facebook stories, social stories we're calling it, challenge that is going on. I'll tell you guys about that in just a second if you guys want to get it to be a part of that and help you with organizing your social stories as well. But right now, I am going to start implementing a Sunday planning session during the day. So really just kind of looking at the week ahead of me and knowing that I want to create some, what he calls filler content, but then also 3 main categories. The way he actually explained it, he was talking about, his wife and Christmas coming up, and the fact that he knows that she has 3 major gifts that she wants. And we do this with our kids all the time. We know that they have 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever major gifts that they want, maybe one major gift that they want if it's a super expensive gift, because we have to budget the rest of our lives, right? So the same thing that we're going to be doing, we're going to be budgeting our time with our content for MLM, right? So those 3 main things would be the 2 or 3 main things that you want to be known for. So as you guys know, one of the main things that I want to be known for is MLM. Another thing that I want to be known for is creating funnels through chatbots and also through Instagram stories. So stories and chatbots are something else that kind of the techie side of things, and being able to explain that to people, I kind of would be one of those other categories that I could add. So I have these three main categories. I have MLM, I have funnels, and for MLM, and then I have chatbots and stories as three main pieces of content. Actually, that could be four main pieces of content, and I can fill those in throughout the course of the week. And I know that I either want to do a podcast or an IGTV, which, guys, that is coming. That is the direction I'm going to be going. Instead of just doing the podcast, I'm actually going to create IGTVs that are going to be available for you guys to check out the full series and set those up into series so that you guys can check those out. But IGTV, and I then will rip over the audio here to the podcast so you guys have that as well. And for those that are visual, it'll be really great to be able to get on IGTV. For those who aren't visual, well, it's okay too. But the point is that, this content is coming. Well, you have these three main categories or four main categories of things that you're going to do, and you lay that out through the week. So I know that Monday, Wednesday, and I said Friday, but a lot of times I don't like to work on Friday, so maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Actually, I think I'll stick with Friday. I'll just make sure I do the podcast before Friday. I'll batch that content into another time frame, which has always worked better for me. So basically, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I drop a podcast for you guys or an IGTV for you guys so that you can check that out and get content. And then the rest of that is the fillers. So, when you get your big main gifts, then you get all these little itty bitty gifts that are, candy and socks, because who doesn't get socks? In my family, we always got slipper socks for Christmas. It was just a tradition, the ones with the actual grippies on the bottom so that you could run around the house and not be sliding in socks, but still have these nice cushy socks on instead of slippers. Yeah, that's the kind that we got in our household every Christmas. So slipper socks, candy, little toy trinkets, all of these little filler things. Those are what fill in the rest of your content for the week. So if you think about those are the other things about you that, things that you are known for. So for myself, I'm known for hula and being a Polynesian dance teacher. I'm known for being a homeschool mom. I'm known for, being humorous. I'm known for being cold all the time. I'm known for loving travel. So these are all little minuscule things about me that I can share in my content that fills in the gaps for the rest of the week. So then my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are really full. They've got really 3 key hinge points or 4 key hinge points for the week. And then in the filler parts, I can add in these little things. So for instance, let's say I'm going to talk about being a homeschool mom. I show our group, one of our groups on a field trip, so I can share information about that. Or being a family person, showing my family and I going on a field trip. I don't know why I said field trip, but going on vacation or going somewhere or going to visit family because family is so important to me. Or if I talk about hula could be a filler. So for instance, today I'm going actually to teach a bunch of kids. I believe they are 3rd or 5th graders. I cannot remember exactly how old they are, but I'm actually going to share some stories with them. They're actually in the process of learning hula stuff. They're learning about Hawaii, and so they wanted to have somebody come in and actually teach them some hula and also learn things. So this is a piece of content that I can drop and just share some of the videos and share some of the things that we've done. So I'm really excited about that. But I just wanted to drop this one out to you and get your feedback. I would love to know how you feel about the 3 anchor points for the week or the 3 big presents that you're going to be giving your audience in terms of creating content for your MLM and how that can work. Maybe we should talk about that too, how this actually works for your MLM. And honestly, guys, I would say I would not talk about it being 3 main points of your MLM business or 3 main points of your MLM products. I would actually veer away from that, and I would talk about generalization. I would go more in terms of the filler content. Filler content could be, the actual products where you can actually talk about one or two of the products that are key hinge points for you. But the main trigger points, your main content that you would have in your MLM, whatever publishing platform that you're working for the week, would be more something that is a larger resource. So let's say you're in weight loss. Then maybe your 3 key points for the week are knowing that, you can give tips on how to restructure your system so that you can actually get up early in the morning and work out. And I'm telling you guys right now, that is something I would want to be taking a look at, because I'm a horrible morning person. Here it is, super early in the morning, and I'm kind of dreading it already. But that would be a much better way. And then, another key point would be giving tips on food sources, like where are the best places to go and get great high quality food that isn't going to cost an arm and a leg. Or maybe it is a recipe that you share. So those are the 3 hinge points that you have for the week. And then the filler is more things about you, or a little bit, drop 1 or 2 pieces of content about a product or an ingredient, or a workout, if that's, depending on what your thing is. So babe, I'd love to hear what you think about this, what you're going to do and how you're going to implement that. Oh, and I almost forgot. I did tell you guys about something that is coming up right now, starting November 1st, because it is going to be the November Social Stories Selling Challenge. We are actually doing a Social Stories That Sells Challenge that is going to be starting November 1st. And if you want more information about that, you can go right over to my Facebook page, which is leahmoore.com, or I'm sorry, it's not leahmoore.com, but if you go to Leah Moore, so it's facebook.com/Leah Moore, or I'm sorry, it is not Leah Moore, it is Curly Boss Chick. So Curly Boss Chick, if you go there, you will find, if you just message me, you will get more information about that challenge. Or even better yet, you can actually go to Instagram and you can go to Curly Boss Chick, Instagram, Curly Boss Chick, and right in my links, in my link tree, you will actually find a link that will help you sign up for that. So what the challenge is that you have 30 days of content that's coming at you. You actually have a content calendar, which will allow you which will help you throughout the whole month of November create content. But the challenge is that all of this content is going to be done in stories format. So whether it's a Facebook story or an Instagram stories, and actually helping you to implement and utilize some of the incredible tools that are out there to create stunning and interesting and visually sell your stories or sell your things through these applications all month long. There's a private Facebook group, and in the private Facebook group, we will be sharing more information on how to use the apps themselves. There'll be individuals, there'll be tips and tricks on how to do things throughout the entire course of the month as well. A Q&A with me every single week, so you can ask questions, as well as just actual support for getting through the challenge, but also getting through what can sometimes be trepidous, an area of trepidation when someone is starting with new applications and really trying to figure out how it all works. And since this has been something I've also been studying for the last kind of year in terms of how people are mastering stories and how they're actually using them to sell their products online, recruit from them online, that is something that I'm sharing with you guys, and we're starting that challenge November 1st. So you can go over, like I said, to Instagram.com/Leah Moore, go into my profile, hit the Linktree link there, and look for the November stories, Social Stories That Sells Challenge link. Get registered, and everything will be delivered to you via Facebook Messenger, and the doors will be opening to the Facebook group here actually tomorrow, because this is going to drop just the day before. So guys, this is kind of a long episode. I know, I'm sorry about that. But babes, I hope you guys got a lot out of it, and there's some useful information that you feel is pertinent and you should share with other people. I would love to hear your feedback. Please go to iTunes and leave me a review. Good or feedback is always welcome. Love hearing from you all. So I'll talk to you very soon. Bye. Bye, babe.